A funny thing happened when I was folding up the G4G15 Martin Gardner Flexagon, and I wanted it to fit nicely into a 8.5 by 11 bag without introducing new folds to it. So I'm folding up this shape and folding up this shape, and then I realized that was a flexagon. I realized that it could flex along those green lines. Those were open folds. And so I quickly made one of 16 equilateral triangles. I painted one side red, the other blue, and as I flexed, blank triangles came up and I painted those brown. When I unfolded the strip, it looked like this. And this is how it flexed. And I'm flexing along the open creases, which are pretty obvious. And I'm visualizing a negative equilateral triangle in the middle of it as I flex to get it going. And let's just do one more. And I, of course, made diagrams of it. And it makes a nice pentagonal shape, which I want you to remember because we're going to see that pentagonal shape later. And on the left, I start with blue with red on the back. Everything goes counterclockwise, and you can see that there are inversions if you compare the two diagrams, that the designs are inversions. And there's also a trick to the order that they show up, which if you want to see me later, I'll be happy to talk about. So being me and not being able to leave well enough alone, I made another strip that was 25 equilateral triangles in a row. And this one presents two different sets of creases that you can flex along. We have the green ones that we used just before, and then we have some orange ones. And this is what the strip looks like. And this is what this diagram looks like. And you can see it's much more complicated. If you start with solid blue on the front and red on the back, you can go along that whole diagram, just flexing along the green creases. But there are faces in the corners that you must do a special flex to get to. So when you get to a circled face, you have to flex along the orange creases, and then you repeat faces. You go back into that diamond, and you have to flex to the next circled face, use the orange creases, go back, and it's a little complicated, but it works. And every face in this diagram is unique to that diagram. So being me, of course, I went crazy, and I went further, and I made a template that was 30 triangles across. And this also had the two different ways you could flex, the green creases and the orange ones. And this one, here's the template, and you can see that there are 3 colors on one side and 5 on the other. And this is what this diagram looks like. So I told you before to note that there was a pentagonal design with the very first flexagon in this shape. And you can see in the center there's a pentagonal design. And that little cycle, if you just use the green creases, replicates what we saw with the first flexagon. So they're exactly the same. And if I substitute the green triangles for brown ones, you can see that even more clear. And to get to all the rest of the faces, you need to go to a circled face, use that orange set of creases once, and then you go around the lobe, you go back to the circled face, and then you go to the next circled face, and you go around that way. And this can also be expressed as a chart, and you can see how, unlike the previous Tuckerman diagram, there are much fewer repetitions. So we have the only faces that repeat are the circled ones and the solid blue. And you can also see interesting things happen when you see it as a chart. There are 5 colors on the side B, and you never have a column where all the 5 colors appear at once. So you have yellow appearing, for instance, in the first column, it disappears until it appears again on the column all the way to the right. So I would like to say that the G4G, one of the purposes is to get people together. And it was at the G4G that I met Yossi Elron, who became my colleague, and we're writing a book together because of the G4G, really. And we're writing with Scott Sherman, who's another Flexagon crazy person. And it's coming soon. We're going to be breaking new ground with it. We're very happy about it. It's going to be published by CRC. And if you want to contact me at any time, there's my email, and I have a user group on groups.io, and you're all invited to join should you want to. And keep flexing, is what I have to tell you.